Happy Thursday, everyone, which means it's time for Super Gamer Bros Ultra Hyper Alpha EX whatever podcast live,
To
which
the
we're now
max.
weekly. I'm one of your gamers, Slayton, and joined by.
I'm Cynic. Hello, hello.
And
Bring the
so this
mic
is our
over
first
here.
time going back to weekly because we had to work our schedule to do weekly, and we really wanted to go back to it. But of course, we did it at the most inopportune time when the world decides to just shut down because of
What,
the virus.
what are you talking about? This is the best time. We're all stuck here with nothing better
Yeah,
to do.
but everything's closed and the news is really slow because there's no more like conferences or festivals or any of that stuff. Like we should be at
Yeah.
today, we should have been at South by Southwest Gaming. So,
Well, yeah, that would have been that'd have been fun.
and so just heads up to you guys. I'm a little lightheaded because I have to have surgery tomorrow on my jaw, and so I'm on some pills right now, a lot of muscle relaxers and things because it's been hurting. So my eyes are a little like they just want to close. I tried to warn Cynic ahead of time. It's gonna be an interesting show. So what we do when we always start our show off is our question of the week, and let's talk about an apocalyptic question. Okay, we got the virus apocalypse apparently, Cynic. So what
Mm.
apocalypse did you think we were going to get outside of the virus one?
Oh man, we're talking about real life here.
Yeah,
If we're talking about apocalypse, I'm talking about meteor. I'm talking. The nations can't get their shit together in order to build something to divert it. Nobody can make any decisions. Or one nation betrays the other and diverts to another nation, and somebody's blamed and the nuclear war starts. So I'm thinking asteroid comes, that's it. Yeah, this whole coronavirus thing, Ali and I have been following for a little while,
yeah.
for at least a month. Is when it started getting really serious, and we kind of started looking at it and go, well, let's buy some just extra food and put it in the freezer. And like now, everybody's on lockdown. Everyone's panicking and buying toilet paper.
Which I don't
Uh,
understand. I just
I
don't
don't
understand.
get. Yeah.
Like I had to go get my prescription at the HEB in Mueller where I go, and it was like all these like preppy white people who just looked like they were trying not to be panicked to be around people. And like I found it weird that the all the chicken was gone, but there's plenty of beef.
Yeah.
The candy aisle is completely stocked, um, and everyone likes flour tortillas over corn because there's plenty of corn tortillas, but not a flour tortilla to be seen.
Yep.
I thought it was so weird, and like the weird white people how they have with the kombucha and stuff, that was pretty much gone.
Well, that's too funny. You definitely live in a hip area, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
go.
all the all the kombucha's gone, all the flour, all the red salsa.
Yeah, no, there was plenty of chips, except Fritos. Fritos were gone. Pork rinds were gone. I thought it was really weird.
That's weird.
Like all the milk was gone, all the eggs were gone. I was like, y'all, what do you like? I'm here for my prescription, and I'm just buying
Yeah.
random things. But so you wanted a meteor apocalypse? I would have gone with like the nuclear wasteland apocalypse. Like I
Oh
would
yeah.
have things
Oh
explode, some missiles go off, and we all end up like a Mad Max world because I would rock that. We would be so awesome in that. We would have our like
yeah.
weapons, and of course, everyone has swords, so we have like be going back to swords and shit. It'd be fucking hilarious. I
Yeah, that would be speaking of swords and anything medieval related. Yeah, shout out to Sherwood Forest, and sorry they got shut down. A lot of local stuff's been shut down, but I know a lot of our people were also at Sherwood. So hey,
yeah.
I'm sure it was good while it lasted.
So starting the news, everything did shut down except one place. Are you ready for this?
Ready?
And their dumb reason for it. I can't even. GameStop is remaining open because due to the products we carry that enable and enhance our customers' experience in working from home, we believe GameStop is classified as essential retail and therefore is able to remain open during this time.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I don't know anything that they have that is considered essential work from home stuff.
Aside from
you need a Dragon Ball Z figure,
yeah.
or it just makes no sense to me.
Yep, my little background has changed to some blinds here because I had to go ahead and get set up in this guest room. which is a pretty nice little setup. I do like what I've put together here. A desk just came in so that I can really be comfortable around here. It's pretty nice.
Nice.
But I'd say I definitely have my Switch set up over here so that I can work and yeah, definitely get in some. You lent me Breath of the Wild forever ago, and so I'm like, okay, I got to give this thing back at some point. Let's blow through this. Let's get through it.
No,
And
I've
yeah,
been those poor GameStop employees stuck at work where no one goes into GameStop. However, I don't have it in here. Damn it! I'll show it to you next week. I ordered something from GameStop that I think is pretty awesome.
what did you order?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to ruin it for you. I got to show it to you. But it's
Ah,
in my other room.
you might not show me for I can't deal with a month of anxiety waiting for you to show me this thing or two or however long this
Okay.
thing's gonna last.
So you talk about Mortal Kombat while I go pick it up.
Okay. So, Mortal Kombat. Last week, we were actually going to talk about this and just didn't have enough time for it. So, Mortal Kombat was coming up with the release of Spawn. Spawn has since been released just a few days ago, and he's fantastic. He's a lot of fun. A little weird, kind of a mid-range character. He kind of looks like a zoner character, like a far screen, shoot stuff at you kind of characters. One of the two variations of him are, but mostly it's kind of like mid-screen to up close kind of weirdness. Super fun. His story is great. If you haven't seen his ending, check it out on YouTube. If you don't have the game, it's very his lore within Mortal Kombat's pretty cool. His style and look are fantastic. His banter with the characters are hilarious. It's pretty much the best of all the DLC characters, except for maybe Shang so far. The other Mortal Kombat news is they are releasing a Blu-ray of Scorpion's Revenge, which is basically retelling the story of the original Mortal Kombat tournament, as everything does eventually, it seems. So when they released the Red Band trailer, again, maybe a couple of weeks ago, Gavin, thank God you're back. Have you seen the Red Band trailer for Scorpion's Revenge?
I have.
Oh, that is as soon as I started seeing some bones breaking and some limbs being severed, I was like, oh, they're putting this into some Mortal Kombat media that's not the game now. This could actually work really well. So I'm really excited to see it. The one thing that kind of bungled it for me was when at the very end they started advertising it as they were like more brutality, more blood, more profanity, and it showed Johnny Cage like swearing, and I'm like, why? Are you just advertising to the lowest denominator? Like, definitely we need the violence because it's Mortal Kombat, and that has just been missing from all the media. But like, you're going so far as to say we're really extreme. We swear on this thing, and like, it kind of made me lose faith in humanity for a second.
Okay,
but it looks good. Looks fun.
Your Mortal Kombat fun. All right.
Yes.
So I bought the gelatinous cube from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh God!
It's my favorite thing from Dungeons and Dragons because it's a block of Jello. But I was wondering what they're going to do because this was from Emerald City Comic Con. It was a shared exclusive that got canceled, so I didn't know what they were going to do. They still released it, but look how awesome this thing is!
That's awesome.
It's just got like a dead dude inside. Like I had to buy the gelatinous cube, and dude, it got here in like 2 days. So I was pretty excited. I love it.
Very cool. I approve.
Gelatinous cube. Yes.
I approve of the gelatinous cube. That's pretty great.
Yeah, like it's the stupidest thing in Dungeons and Dragons, but I freaking love it.
But it's great.
Okay.
It's the blob in cube form.
Yeah. I love the art of it too, because on our Twitter page in April, we're kicking off our ABCs of Geek series, and the first thing I do is Sega, so it's ABCs of Sega, and then after that is ABCs of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm halfway through that one. Of course, Gelatinous Cube is there, and I had to go find the best Gelatinous Cube image. Like, I love it. So you guys can see it. So the other thing I found interesting that I didn't know was going to happen, which happened today actually, is how I don't know if you do the same thing I do, but I subscribe to Games Pass Ultimate, where it's PC and Xbox, and also your gold every month. It's like $15.
I do.
They're now going to start giving you perks every month. So they've given me this month the Sea of Thieves customizations. They gave me something for World of Tanks that I don't play, something else for something I don't play, and then something I downloaded, but I don't remember. There was 4 perks. And so I was like, well, this is kind of cool. I just thought it was for whatever. But no, it's going to become like Twitch Prime, where you get free stuff every month.
Very
So
cool.
I'm pretty excited for that because right now in Twitch Prime, they're doing the 6 months of Destiny giveaway. So I'm on month 2. And I've got most of the stuff that they're giving away except for one thing so far. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I can't wait to see how this is going to play out because it just makes it so much better. This just makes me so happy. I love it.
Better value is always good. That's perfect.
It is. Oh, it's for Phantasy Star Online 2. There's a whole customization bundle for Xbox that you get because they're opening up in the beta. So I was going to play it today, but I got stuck in Destiny because I'm having so much fun. So Phantasy Star 2 was the other bundle. So I used the Sea of Thieves and the Phantasy Star 2 bundles. And I was like, yes! And then it's going to be a normal thing that's going to happen. So it makes me pretty excited.
It's very cool. Very, very cool.
I would like to see them do some more weird things with it. Like I like what they're doing, but like Twitch Prime, man, every month I don't even know half the stuff they give away because they're like, oh, here's a free little game for this, and here's this, and here's that. I was like, I have no idea. They're normally like little free to play games where they give you like bundles of stuff. So I'm hoping it doesn't go that route. I'm hoping it goes the route like they're doing with Destiny on Twitch Prime, and you actually get fun stuff. I mean, it's all cosmetic, so that's okay.
Yeah, there's also stuff like they have, of course, State of Decay 2 is an exclusive to Xbox, and they have been releasing a lot of free DLC for that too.
Which is the other thing they said is we're going to get DLC as the Games Pass Ultimate now as well. So whatever DLC comes out for the game, you're going to have it.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. When they had Ori and the Blind Forest, they also they when they released Ori and the Will of the Wisp, they also released the definitive edition of Ori and the Blind Forest. Actually, I think the defined version or whatever has been out for a little while on that, but it's still very cool that they're offering the full version of Ori and the Blind Forest in addition to the brand new game the Will of the Wisp. Very cool games if you hadn't played them.
I'm gonna have to go look because I know for the new Forza game there was a Lego DLC where you could play with Lego cars in Lego World.
I heard about.
I need to go see because I will play in the Lego World and just do stupid stuff. Because right now I'm playing. It's called like Salty Depths. It's like this weird 8-bit, 16-bit, weird like Cthulhu, and you got to send your minions out to like wreck the land so you can like summon it. There's like a little mob you control. You can tell them where to attack. It's pretty fun.
Sounds fun.
But then it got really, really hard, and so I'm kind of stuck trying to figure out the game mechanics of it because now they're shooting and like killing everyone with like grenades, and I don't know how they had grenades back then. But yeah, so it's actually really fun. So I'm having fun exploring Games Pass. I love the fact they're going to give us free stuff. I really, really think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, Games Pass is ramping up pretty good, I think. I really, really enjoy it. It's great.
So tonight is going to be the ultimate Doom versus Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Wonder which one will win. I mean, I might be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of kids stuck at home, a lot of parents wondering what they should get them. Probably shouldn't get Doom for your kids. So maybe Animal Crossing will win.
My only hitch with Doom is that I wish it were a fully co-op thing. When you have to tell me how it plays with the co-op, if it's that other mode where it's just like weird.
Well, the last game had Forge mode, which you could co-op through, so we could still do that. If you could play basically through the customized levels, not through the full campaign. This game has battle mode in there. Now, I haven't heard about any kind of just standard death matches or anything where we could play online, but battle mode right now is where two players control a demon, and there's one player who controls a fully loaded, fully upgraded Slayer.
Yeah.
And so you have to work together. And so I think, like, in terms of co-op, that could be really fun, super fun. We would just have to make sure that we run into some scrubs so we can actually look good on stream.
No, because it's like last Friday.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
when we did the Friday the 13th stream. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Except that one where I died first because I spawned next to Jason.
Right next to it. I mean, that has to happen for Jason to be able to do something. I mean, sometimes you're just that person.
We had so much fun, and then those idiots driving off without us. I was like right
yeah.
there trying to get in the car.
Oh yeah, same. Ran over me. You know, I had a,
I ran over you.
I had literally, I had like, I had the little firecrackers, the knife, the gun. Like I had everything we needed to get past Jason, and they freaking ran me
over. So,
oh my god!
Yeah, I want to do more of that. But so when you get Doom, experiment and let me know because I will be getting Animal Crossing.
Well,
But
Doom's
Doom
going
is
to be
not
released.
kind of my back list.
Hey, as long as little PJ is in her little PJs and asleep, then we're going to be dooming it up after 12 o'clock or whenever that thing unlocks. I hope it unlocks soon. I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah, I've got to be in bed by midnight because I've got surgery in the morning. So I'm just like, ugh.
Oh yeah, make sure you fast. Make sure you don't drink
I
water.
don't have to fast. They
Don't
want me
do
to
all
make sure I eat a light breakfast because it's just they're taking out everything here. Basically, I was like, ah.
I mean, if
So
you don't want to shit yourself, I'd do it anyway. Just don't eat.
I
Just
probably will. But
yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be hilarious. So you'll be playing that,
Yep.
and I'll be playing Animal Crossing. Which speaking of Nintendo games, I haven't played Tim very much.
No.
Because I got back into Pokemon and I realized there's a huge difference. They're very similar, but there's just something about Pokemon that just clicks. Whereas Tim, it's like they're still building this world and this, I kind of like I can see where the major differences are starting to kick in.
For sure.
Because I've been doing a bunch of those raids in Pokemon. Like I would just sit there and jump from raid to raid to raid to raid to raid, having a good time.
Is that starting to smooth out a little bit? Hello.
That was my dad. I'll call him a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to smooth out a lot. I realized if it's an English name, I can join them. If it's not an English name, don't bother. You'll never join. So I figured that aspect out.
Okay.
That's about as far as I got in figuring out their online service, and it's just a matter of waiting. I will start a gym and just wait for people to join in, or I will literally just search for nothing but requests.
Yeah, I think like 2 minutes has never felt longer whenever you're waiting for people to join your.
Oh my god! Yeah, like are they going to join or not? And then when you got to fill up the rest of the team with AI magic carps. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I got into Tim yesterday.
Yeah, you're not catching Snorlax with that.
No, and I was running around. I was like, "There's not enough variety just yet."
It's nice that they're supporting it. They are updating it.
Yeah, I still love the game.
Yeah,
but we know what to do in Pokemon. We understand Pokemon. I don't fully understand this game yet. Like, I don't understand how my plant that's a plant and poison can shoot something with poison and get poison back and almost die. Like, you're supposed to be resistant to that, because it's your type.
Yeah, they kind of cancel each other out. It depends on the type. Usually, if you are a type that's vulnerable and then a type that's not vulnerable, they just cancel each other out. It's a little weird depending on your types.
Yeah.
Pokemon is weird.
Well, Tim's a little weirder, so I'm going to be excited to do the Noggins Hall or whatever the knockoff Animal Crossing one is as well. So yeah, that was most of the news this week, but I think all of the news this week has been completely bombarded with the new specs for the new systems. Have you seen these things?
Yes, I have. I know that the Xbox released theirs, the PS4 released theirs, and it's pretty ridiculous.
So IGN did a comparison, right? There's really not much difference between either of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a nice jump from the current generation, but
it is like the PlayStation will have more memory bandwidth, but the Xbox will have a more powerful GPU or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't think there's all these things they don't know about yet.
Yeah.
And so they're just building this list. It's fun to watch. But I'm most excited about Project X Cloud, of course. I have it on my phone and it's amazing. I've been testing it out. But I was just like, yeah, they're not much different. They're really touting it. But the thing is I watched the PlayStation 5 stream, and it
Mhm.
was so boring. That dude should not have been presenting it. It was just like you could tell he was just up there, and like no one was wearing clothes that fit him. Like the dude who introduced it looked like he was wearing his dad's jacket as a little kid, and then
Mm.
it wasn't
It's not a good look.
it wasn't a good look. Whereas the PlayStation was like, oh, it's kind of flashy. It's made for everyone to watch and understand. Whereas this dude was just talking straight up to developers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I laughed because I was taking notes. So here's how far I got on the notes of that one. All right. So when they started, first and foremost, it's kind of weird. The crew talking about it's like oversized clothes and more. Like they did not look like they wanted to be there. And so they're like, okay, this time we're going to listen to the developers and game creators that matter. And I was like, well, duh, that's what you should be doing anyways. How are they like? That's Xbox has been doing that forever. And he's like, how do
Mm.
we balance
Sure.
evolution and revolution? Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, they're not going for the revolution path because that makes things harder. They're going for the evolution, which is what Xbox has already been doing. And so
Yeah.
he had these like three things that he was key pointing out. One was finding new dreams. It's like, you mean you want new features, working on 3D audio, which I understand, but everyone's into 3D audio. It's nothing new. And then I wrote, God, this is boring. I mean, this is for tech people, but come on. And I had to stop 13 minutes into it. That's as far as my notes got because I wanted to talk about it today.
That's pretty rough.
They
I
didn't
know
even
that.
reveal the design of the console. Like,
Mm.
they were just talking about the architecture. And I was just like, I
They're
get it.
they're also getting slammed for their lack of backwards compatibility. It's not completely. It's not. There's still a few titles that are going to be backwards compatible for sure, but
Yeah.
Xbox is saying that its whole library is going to be backwards compatible with the one, which is great.
They need to
But
get the first batch of Xbox games. So that whole line, I mean, I think they stopped like with a quarter of them done.
yeah, I mean, the effort was nice. And with the Xbox 360, there was a ton of stuff that I was even surprised that made backwards like when Vanquish was backwards compatible. I jumped through my skin because I absolutely love that game.
I was just waiting for Time Splitters Future Perfect, and it
Yeah,
never made the list. I bought
yeah.
it. It's sitting here on my shelf, just waiting.
Hmm. I think the thing is though, the thing to remember is when the Xbox 360 came out, there wasn't much backwards compatibility
Yeah,
like at all. They had to patch in a few like later on. When the Xbox One came out, there was like no backwards compatibility until a little bit later. They ported some games over, then started making some backwards compatible. So that kind of fed into it. So I
yeah.
think PlayStation is now kind of where Xbox is and or was back then,
Finally,
and Xbox kind of learned from their mistake, and they're like, okay, well, how hard really is it to make this thing backwards compatible? Let's just do it. Clearly, it's important to people who have invested
I
in our
think
systems. Yeah.
I think the Xbox's smart thing is it's all going to be on the cloud, like
Hmm.
Google Stadia. So you don't have to worry about architecture. It's just you access that server and play.
And play.
Um, yeah. So I watched that, and then I just read about it, and then I went over all the Xbox specs. Like if you go to the Xbox.com website, you can actually see the inside of it and
Hmm.
how it works. But
There's like a 3D breakdown of it out there, which is pretty
what
cool.
I found interesting is they're using proprietary expansion ports for like SD cards to expand the hard drive, the internal hard drive.
Hmm.
So if it comes with a terabyte, but you could put in these weird little SD cards in the back to expand it if you need more space. But if you're going to be playing mostly on the cloud, I don't think that's going to be much necessary.
Yeah.
But I think they're preparing for people who don't want to do that because people just I am all about the digital feature, y'all. Like
Well, I mean,
my books are there, my movies.
my only problem is what if you don't have internet access? What if you want to play your game without it? Because that happens, and there's been plenty of times here when I've been without internet and just jumped on and started playing, whatever have you. So I always think that's necessary. But I mean, if your infrastructure is going to be in the cloud, that's cool.
Yeah,
But I mean, obviously, this thing's going to be super powerful. Just so I just want my stuff to look good. I want it to run smooth. And I think the Xbox, I mean, both of these systems are going to get it done, like clearly.
I think what I'm most excited about is a not 15-minute load in to Destiny.
Yeah.
I will hit A on the title screen. I will go load a load of dishes. I will take a shower and come out. And I can finally pick my character, and then I'll go like feed the dog, take her outside, finally pick where I'm going to go, and like they have the worst load time.
It's a good
So
chunk of time. Yeah.
it's a huge chunk of time, and some games are just like that. But I was watching the load times on the Xbox test, and it was really fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite understand how games worked until I was watching the PlayStation one, because he was talking about how it happens is it loads the chunks of where you're at. So
Mhm.
like I know all the load points in Destiny because half the time you get stuck there, so I know what to expect. But he was talking about how the next gen systems are going to be able to load more behind you as you're turning, because it's going to
Mhm.
be so fast to process. So you shouldn't have any of these like 30-second load times, because it's going to be loading it as you turn with the
Mhm.
main chunks that are always there. So that was kind of fun to see how video game processing actually kind of works, because I'm used to just going from one side of the city to the other.
Yeah.
And I don't think about it.
Yeah, I remember starting to learn about that kind of thing a little while back, and especially like that kind of stuff's been going on forever. When you had fog back in the day, and that fog was just the game loading in as you left, and
Yeah.
as you keep going in, and different game developers have different tricks to doing that. So, like I know Horizon Zero Dawn, you would look around, and as you looked, the game would load to wherever you were looking, which is a really cool trick. I don't know how the hell that works at all, especially when it comes to like multiplayer games, but. Yeah, I think everything looks pretty promising. I mean, the size thing is definitely an issue, but I mean, I know I'm going to find a place. It's just a tower. It's an oversized computer tower, and
Well, you can also lay it on the
yeah,
side.
yeah, you can lay it on its side.
But
It's
did you see they announced when they're going to release it, the Xbox?
you announced it to me, but why don't you say it
Thanksgiving
here?
Day.
November,
Thanksgiving Day is
so
the
close.
rumored exact release date. They are planning on that Black Friday spree.
Oh man,
I
that's
will, of
crazy.
course, have mine pre-ordered through Amazon, so I probably won't get it till Black Friday, which I'm okay with, because nobody ships on Thanksgiving. I think that's a stupid, stupid day, but they'll
Yeah,
probably adjust it.
that's
Uh,
supposed to be a family day, man. That's that's pretty crazy though. That's pretty ballsy of them, to be
well,
honest.
because I'm going to have to put it in the living room, reinstall all the stuff that I want to have on there if that's not on the cloud.
That'll take a few
That'll
days.
take a few days because Destiny is huge as it is.
Mhm.
Fantasy Star Online is huge. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare is pretty huge. Which, oh my god, that game is so much fun, dude! Like I just, anyways,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's gonna be lots of fun. But something. The last thing I want to talk about today was, I'm a Time Splitters junkie, right?
I do. Not
I
as much as Space Channel 5, but it's up there.
Yeah. So there has been a project for years called Time Splitters Rewind that fans were trying to recreate the games. And we actually had them on our show like 4 or 5 years ago. And we were talking about it, and it just kind of disappeared after that. Well, this past year, it's resurged with a new team. And they've been releasing these development diary videos, and everything looks so beautiful. And so they released one in January that was like 20 minutes long, and they were talking about everything that they're doing because it's going to be completely free. They've got backing from the company that bought Time Splitters, that they're giving the blessing to do this. It's only going to be on
That's
PC,
that's
which
very
I
cool.
understand. And
Yeah.
they're starting with just Time Splitters 1. And after they did that, their team like tripled in size with volunteers.
Oh
So
wow.
they just did another video where they were showing off. They now have like animators and environmental artists, and so they're really making actual progress on Time Splitters Rewind, which I've been following for like 5 or 6 years now.
Wow.
And it's going to be Time Splitters 1. They're going to start there, which makes me incredibly happy because I just loved it.
Yeah.
I want to ask them though if they're going to keep the Forge mode where you can make your own levels, because that was one of the best things of Time Splitters. Because I would make the most impossible levels, um, that were the most fun. People loved them. I think the one I made that everyone loved the most was you were stuck in a room with no doors, but all you had was that 3D gun that could see through the walls, and you were trying to ping people through the walls, and you kept dying and
Mhm.
spawning in other rooms. Like, man, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
crazy fun.
I am really, really excited that this game is still making progress, and I know that the company that bought the rights to it wants to do something with it, quote unquote. But I think that will probably be if they actually do it and put it on the console, the new Time Splitters will probably be the end all be all game. Like
Yeah.
they will just be done. And it's like I said, that's why I think everyone loves Fortnite so much. It's crazy. You can do whatever you want. The characters aren't your normal soldiers. You could be a fucking rabbit with a jackalope or whatever, And that was what was fun at Time Splitters. It was so fast. The levels were incredible. The music was incredible, and the characters. There's like 75 to 100 characters. One of the games had a whale mobster, and he had little whale like fish arms that were holding guns. Like they were like tunas holding guns at his arms. Like, come on now. There was Shiva with her 6 arms holding guns running around. There's gingerbread men and monkeys, and you had aliens and soldiers and like Russian people, and then you had like the weird stuff like the giant rat in a mech suit. Like it was fun.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be so. I'm just excited for the Time Splitters Rewind community. I'm really excited for that. I will be back on PC playing that because it's only been on PC, but it's free, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's really great. Yeah, if they can make some money off that and throw it on a console, I'd buy it. That'd be great.
They had an FAQ on the video, and that was the number one question: is will it be console based? They don't have the bandwidth to develop for the console because it costs to put that stuff on the console, but they can release it for free on the PC, and they can't. They can't charge for it because
for sure
the company's like, yeah, you can do what you want, but you just can't charge anybody for it.
But you just can't make money off of it. Yeah, that's
and so it's fun to see a fan community come together for a game like that. That I don't think has happened in quite some time. Like I know there's people who want to remake like the Mario games and stuff like that, or something, but this is just it's been a huge endeavor for years. And watching people come and go, it's just been kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see the final product because an HD updated version of Time Splitters 1, Planet X, you all will die, just so you know. I will shoot you from the cliffs. You will have no shot. So that's been it for this week's kind of a short edition because my head is really not here of Super Gamer Bros.
Well, and it's also, I mean, this whole COVID-19 thing has shut everything down. So,
everything down. No conventions, no nothing. Everything's virtual. I cannot wait to see the Xbox virtual thing they're going to do next month. I am so excited.
Yeah, there's still plenty of games coming down the pipe. I'm looking at a short list, and there's plenty to come. You know, Resident Evil is actually right around the corner, which I didn't realize until looking recently.
You're like, oh, I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, it's like next month. So yeah, Resi 3. Ever since Resi 2 was a success, when the remake came out, like the developers were like, okay, we're already making 3, like we're already on it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted these classic games to have a good makeover because they still hold up. All the mechanics still hold up.
So next week I'll probably have Pocky sit in for me depending on how I am. So it might be the two of you next week having fun, but we'll be back next week. And I think I missed Sunday. We were supposed to game Sunday, but I didn't even know what day it was. You got to text me, dude. If we're supposed to be streaming, like, hey, we're supposed to be playing, just text me because I will literally forget. Because we have to finish Halo. We have to finish Halo.
No worries. I didn't know if Friday had covered that. So
no, Friday. That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I want to do that so much more because actually I have last Friday, the Friday the 13th inspired board game, and I really want to play it. So
gotta do it
when this COVID thing is done. We can all get together and actually play it because I also bought the expansion that introduces Freddy. So half the camp is on fire. So yeah, it's an interesting game.
That sounds like crazy fun. Well, one thing that you've been teasing me with that I absolutely want to jump on is Puzzle Fighter. We have to jump on Puzzle Fighter, man. Ever since you told me that existed and that was backwards compatible, I downloaded it right away because holy Lord, if you've never played Puzzle Fighter, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, go find it. And I paid for it a long time ago, but if it's not,
I've got mine paid for.
If you like puzzle games, sit down with a friend and have a few beers, get loose, and play some Puzzle Fighter, man, because it is one of the most intense competitive puzzle games you'll ever play. It's so much fun. So much fun.
It'll be lots of fun. So that's it for this week. I'm going to see if we can get Pocky to fill in for me next week, depending on how I feel. He just said, what the heck am I doing in the chat? You're probably going to fill in for me next week. So I will have to go through and teach you how to. It's really easy. You just log in and everything's already saved and set.
Yep. Pocky's always fun, man. So it'll be fun having you, man.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to heal from this. It'll be interesting. But yeah, so you guys have fun, play games. It's when you're stuck at home. I've been playing Destiny all day. I can't complain.
Exactly, and I've been playing Breath of the Wild and taking care of the baby. And Wolfenstein. Been playing a lot of Wolfenstein lately. Waiting for Doom, obviously.
All right, well, you have fun with Doom tonight. I'll start Animal Crossing at some point in time. So that's it for tonight. We'll see you guys. We'll just watch us online. We'll just watch for us to be playing games. And every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, we'll be doing this, talking video games and just generally chatting and having fun. So that's it for tonight. Say bye, Cynic.
Bye, folks.
What was that? Like
that was me. That was me trying to find my hand. I couldn't. Here
the
it
gelatinous cube will come and get you. It will come and get you.
Oh no! No!
All right, bye guys.
Later.